Hello, my name is Vic Loxo, and this is my presentation on constructivism for 8307. Constructivism is a belief that people build their own learning through experiences and the constant analyzing of new information compared to what we already know to be true. Constructivists focus on real-world scenarios and active hands-on approaches for learning because of the belief that hands-on approaches are the best for learning, understanding, and retaining new ideas or concepts, and experiences are a big part of that. The belief is that students will more likely remember an experience over just being lectured to. Experiments are also a large part of constructivism for the same reasons that experiences are. Being active in the process of finding information and testing theories or hypotheses helps students to remember what they have learned, analyze problems, find ways to solve problems, and be more engaged and interested in what they are learning. Reflection is important to the constructivist theory because in order for the lesson to really have an impact, students need to consider what they learn, consider why they learned something, how they learned it, if they might have a better way to learn it, or what important significance does it have to them, and does it make sense when compared to what the student already knows. Several important theorists regarding constructivism are John Dewey, who is considered to be the father of constructivist approach. He did not agree with the beliefs that proper learning means only listening and memorizing. He believed that the way to learn was through experiences. The main cognitive constructivists, were Jerome Bruner and Jean Piaget. Bruner emphasized social interactions as best practices for learning, and Piaget emphasized that learning is dynamic and evolves through stages. Lev Vygotsky is the final one. He developed social constructivism, which is the belief that social interactions are essential to the actual starting point of all learning. The differences between the traditional classroom and the constructivist classroom have to do with group work and not having lectures. The curriculum is different than traditional methods in the constructivist model because the focus is not on the teacher but rather the students. The students become an essential tool in their own learning. Students are encouraged to ask questions and participate. They are viewed as orchestrators of their own learning because interaction is key to this approach. In the constructivist model, the students become their own teachers in a way. They ask frequent questions and they find their own answers. They communicate, experiment, always building on previously learned content and assessing new information in order to place it where it needs to go in their memory files. Teachers have a different role in this model as well. Rather than standing at the front of the class and talking at the students, many of whom are probably disengaged for a good portion of any given class period, the constructivist model approach places the teacher in the mix with the students, offering guidance and answers, or more questions that will help the students find their own answers. The teacher becomes a facilitator instead of an authoritarian. Assessment is also different in the constructivist approach, where students are still given tests, but procedures, observations, and student products are all factored in. Students are asked to describe, explain, and show in order to demonstrate that they have learned a concept. The PAR model stands for Present, Apply, and Review. Constructivism emphasizes the use of prior knowledge and social interaction for learning. The PAR model assists in this form of learning by focusing on three areas of presenting new information, then applying it to real-world situations that the student understands, and then reviewing the new information to help ensure retention of what was just learned. Presenting the new information requires a recall of previously learned content so that the students can build upon what they already know. Applying the new content to real-world lessons cements the new concepts in ways that make sense to the student, which make retention and recall easier. Finally, reviewing the new content is an essential step because it helps to clarify any points that might be misunderstood. It also provides opportunities for assessment besides just testing. And a scenario to go along with this constructivist approach presentation will help explain it. It's time for an elementary class to learn about bridges, for example. The unit will cover geometry, physics, and mathematics calculations, as well as construction terms like keystones. The students in the constructivist classroom will not have to sit through lectures and note-taking on what makes bridges sound enough for use. The constructivist teacher leads with a review of previously covered material to refresh students' memories and get them thinking about what is to come. She provides some initial questions for the students to think about and help them form hypotheses. The teacher uses resources to demonstrate the different types of bridges for the students. The teacher explains that the students are going to be building their own bridges, using popsicle sticks, rubber bands, glue, etc. She states that they may use whatever they feel would help them to create a strong, sturdy bridge. She explains that they will be working in groups to accomplish this, and encourage communication between group members and between other groups as well. The purpose, after all, is to find answers. The students use popsicle sticks and other items to build their bridges. The review stage comes as a test of bridge integrity. The teacher uses an item to place on each bridge to confirm whether it will stand or fall. And if any bridge should fail, the teacher has them explain what they did and what they might have done differently. For the bridges that stay standing, the teacher asks the students to explain what they did and why. The teacher then gives feedback regarding what were sound building ideas and techniques and how other ideas and techniques could have been improved. These students will remember this lesson because they use their own hands and minds to create something. So constructivism is basically taking the teacher from the front of the classroom and placing the teacher in with the students, helping them find their own way. And I hope you find this presentation helpful. Thank you.